Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. Okay, like 2 days ago. Ashley and I were having dinner with Daniel and a couple of our other friends. We were all catching up, just having a good time. Daniel and Ashley were sitting across from each other, you know, being all lovey-dovey, and I was sitting beside Ashley. And Daniel's arm was like, on the back of the chair, like, kind of caressing her neck, trying to rub her shoulders. And I was like, whoa, okay, because they've never been like that before. It's like they were trying to put on a show. But then our friend Joe made a joke, and Daniel burst out laughing, and he reached over and grabbed Ashley's hand and intertwined his fingers with hers. And I was like, okay, because that was not normal. They weren't even holding hands like that before Joe came. So I was like, this is weird. Then later, our friend Sarah asked if anyone wanted to come over and play some board games, and Daniel immediately said, no, thanks. But he looked at Ashley and was like, you want to come, babe? And she was like, yeah, sure. And so they left, and I stayed behind because I was helping Sarah clean up, and I remember thinking wow, they're acting so weird. Then Joe said, I'm gonna head out, and I was like, hey, let's go for ice cream. And Joe was like, sure, but he kept looking back at Daniel and Ashley, who were whispering to each other and making plans for the next day. Then Ashley turned to me and she was like, why don't you just go ahead and get your own place? You're getting to that age where you need your own space. And I was like, okay, but then I just realized maybe I will get my own place. And then she said, well, you better get going if you're gonna make that drive tonight. And I was like, yeah. But I was like, wait, how does she know that I'm gonna drive tonight? What does she know? And then I was like, screw it, whatever. I just got in my car and I drove. Then I saw Daniel and Ashley's car, and it was right in front of me, and I was like, oh, wow, because I didn't expect them to be driving behind me. Then they stopped at a red light and they started turning towards me, they turned their car around. They followed me and I was like, whoa, I hope they don't realize that I'm following them. But then Ashley leaned out and she was like, Daniel, turn onto this road. Turn onto this road. And I was like, oh my gosh, they know I'm following them. They know. Then I turned onto the road and I just kept driving. Then I got to my apartment and I parked in the garage and I was like, okay, thank God they didn't find me. So now I am in the car with them and I'm freaking out inside because I can feel Ashley's hand on my leg and she's rubbing it. And then she looks up at me and she's like, what are you doing? Relax, just enjoy the ride. Oh my God.